Merry Christmas. It is the Down Home with Tina show. I am your host, Tina Thompson, and boy, do I have a lot going on in the show today. I've got 3 guests this show, and so I've got a lot to talk about, so we're just going to get right to it. I'm very, very excited because I have met and been in the presence of Coach Daniel Shirey from the Liberty Union football team a few different times now. I know it's been at least twice where we have had your daughter Reese on, and she had been battling leukemia, and she is doing really well as of we speak right now, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and doing good. Yay.
She's doing awesome.
Ready for the holidays?
I think so, yeah. It's every day I want this, every day I want that. So yes, she's ready.
I start with my kids in August and I say, no, well, mine are a little older, so they should know this by now, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't even stop, I don't think. And if they're living at home, it won't stop, even if they would be much older than what they are, I have a feeling. But I want. Christmas is coming up. Christmas is coming up. It stopped in August, I think, where I said, no, I'm not buying anything extra. Just tell me what you want and I'll get it at Christmas time. So, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about you receiving some awards, a few different awards this year as the football coach of Liberty Union, and I'm going to go ahead and announce those awards. All-Ohio High School Football Coach of the Year, All-Area High School Football Coach of the Year, District High School Football Coach of the Year, and Mid-State League High School Football Coach of the Year. Holy cow! Coach Shirey, how does that make you feel to receive awards such as these?
Well, you know, your peers vote for the Mid-State League, and then, Associated Press vote for everything else, and I really wasn't expecting all this, but it makes you feel good because sometimes that don't come out, but it makes you feel really, really respected in the sport. So yeah,
absolutely. How many hours a week do you spend on football when in the season? Well, even before the season, I guess, because practices begin way before.
Yeah, I mean, we'll spend anywhere from, 3 to 4, 5 hours a night on film.
You by yourself, or you with your?
Yeah, by myself, and then, our other coaches on the staff do the same. But then, you got 3 to 4 hours a night just in practices. Going clear back into the off season, we go 3-4 times a week, 2 hours, a night. So it's quite a few hours.
When did football begin for you? Was it back in high school? Was it biddy? What did we have way back in the day? Have we always had biddy? I know you're just a little bit younger than me.
Yes, I mean, we had youth league.
We had flag when I was at my school.
We played in the youth league up in Columbus for a year, and then that was my 6th grade year. That was the first time I ever played football. And then moved back into Baltimore or Liberty Union District and started playing football.
Always had a love for it? Yeah,
and always had a love for Liberty Union football. I mean, once I got here and started learning, the traditions and everything that Liberty Union had to offer in junior high and then into high school, always blood red and black.
Yeah.
Still do.
How many years have you been the high school football coach?
This was my 3rd year at for the Liberty Union High School football program.
Okay. Yeah. Have you been doing coaching prior to that?
I spent 15 years for Baltimore Biddy League.
I thought
in the organization and at coach. Coach with Coach Dan Johnson for 6 years. Coached with Coach Johnson after for 2 years, and then spent 2 years at Millersport as a coordinator, and then came back to Liberty Union as the head coach.
Because it's always calling your name, I'm sure.
Yes, my wife.
Do you dream it and have at night about the Liberty Union football?
I do.
I mean, how could you not? I mean, it sounds like to me it's definitely a passion of yours.
It is. It truly is. The drive is. I just want Liberty Union to be a book of success. On and off the field. when it comes to players, athletes, coaches, the whole gamut, so I just want Liberty Union to have the most success as they can, so.
And have you had a learning curve, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as a, brand new head coach, yeah, you learn a lot that you thought you already knew as an assistant or as a coordinator. And you continue to learn every year, like this year we had to deal with the pandemic. We had to learn, a new way of coaching, how to structure practices every day to make it safe for the athletes to continue. So every year brings something new that you can learn and grow from.
How did you all do this year?
As far as the pandemic goes?
Well,
I'll tell you what, we had tremendous support from our athletic director, Janet McClaskey, and our administration at Liberty Union about getting the kids back to doing something. Because at that time, basketball was stopped, wrestling was stopped.
Yes.
Baseball was kind of stopped for the school anyways. And we have a lot of athletes that play in multiple sports that depended on that, and seniors going out, having to deal with that. So early on, what I decided to do is we did a bunch of Google Meet meetings with each class. I did with them, and we talked about things that we wanted to stress in the upcoming season and get better at. And that just kept us in contact. And it was, it's kind of funny because everybody gets to see each other, and they make faces at each other on the computer and everything else. But then it transitions into getting the guys together and following certain protocols and procedures. So we were very strict early on about wearing, and through the season, but early on, you can only have 10 kids in a group. You could have one coach with those 10 kids. So, we just dealt with it and worked with it the best we could.
Well, I am just excited to have you here. I know we're already almost done with my time with you, which it goes way too fast. So I haven't told you this, of course, and I want to tell my viewers, you are one of 3 people that I have today that I consider as a hero. And the reason why I consider you as a hero, Coach Shirey, is because you put forth so much of wanting to change lives of these guys and sometimes maybe gals that come into your life, and which you, I'm sure, are making such an impact. And when you win or when you lose, I have no doubt you are still continuing to teach them something from it.
Yes.
Yes, in a positive way. So I've got a gift. So I've got stress therapy tea, just in case you ever stress, not saying that you do.
Yeah.
And I've got some gift cards, some from Ava Jewelers. You can spend it on yourself or your lovely wife, Jamie, who I still have yet to meet. And I've also got a gift certificate from Walker Shoe Center and also from Ireland Spa and Salon in here. And if you like my chocolate chip cookies, which I have a plate of those for you, then here's the recipe for you or Jamie or the kids.
Had them before, they're pretty good.
Thank you very much. Blessings to you, and thank you so much for taking the time, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
I didn't even get to ask what your favorite Christmas memory was.
Real quick,
Reese,
sure. Last year, that has to be my favorite Christmas story because we knew where she was at that time, so that would be hands down. Having her for Christmas last year was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And there you go.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm a recovering addict. For 10 of the last 11 years, I've been struggling with addiction, homelessness, incarceration, and just loneliness. However, since getting clean this past year, I've accomplished more than I have in those 10 years combined. After attending outpatient counseling services, inpatient counseling services, living in a sober living house and attending 12-step meetings, I've been able to regain control of my life and begin to achieve goals I've always dreamed of. Addiction can destroy lives in many ways. Whether you need help with childcare or financial assistance, everyone deserves a new beginning. Recovery supports are just that, supports for recovery. My life mattered. Your life matters too.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. Some of you may remember that it was back in September that I did a ride-along at one of the engine houses at the Lancaster Fire Department. It was Engine House 2, Crew 1. I don't know if they were blessed that day or what you might want to call it, but I feel like I was blessed that I did get the chance and opportunity to spend that long 15 hours. 15 hours is a long day, so I couldn't imagine what it's like for our firefighters to work 24-hour shift of doing whatever is going to come for the day, and that's just what they do, and that's what they signed up to do. I guess I think it's safe to say right from the start. I have Lieutenant Klaaymeyer with me. He is with Engine House 2, and you're with different ones.
Yeah, I travel around.
You're different ones, and I didn't know that day. You were there with me that day. You taught me so much, and I'm really grateful to have you on the show today, because I know you're going to teach me and hopefully some others who are watching some things that maybe they don't know. Holy cow, you were just like one of those people, and I was sharing it with you right before we got started, that it took me back to my, I think, 18-year-old military days, where you walk in, you don't know what you're going to get, who you're going to, but I get along most of the time with mostly everybody. And I was just kind of very open-minded and very just trying to consume and take everything in. But you are that leader that was needed for that specific day for what I needed to learn, and you taught me so flipping much. I was just looking at you and just listening the whole time. What was that like for you to have somebody just stand there and kind of go?
Well, first, thanks for having me on. I appreciate those kind words and being there. So to have someone riding along, we do have people ride along from time to time. We have predominantly medic students that will come in and they'll ride along with us as well. But having someone from the public, we do show and tell when the students come out, or we go out in the public doing those kind of things. But having you there just from the community was a little bit different. But I had an idea what you're coming in, what you're wanting to try to see and try to learn along the way. So I was trying to share as much of that information that I could, because what we do is radically diverse. It's not just that we have an engine that goes out to go to fires and the medic goes on medic runs. There's a whole plethora of things that we're involved in daily that to just encompass it by taking fire runs and medic runs isn't all that we do. So
I know I don't have a whole lot of time, and I could go in to talk with you about being a firefighter for like an hour or two or something like that. I mean, we spent so much time that day just talking about stuff. But I wanted to share with you, and I had my first guest, and I will with my third as well. So the folks that I'm having on the show today, I consider as heroes. And the reason why I consider you as one of those heroes is because it's the military. It is our first responders, which is our firefighters, our nurses, our Lancaster, the police department. And the reason why is because you wake up each and every morning and you go out there, and it was the same for me that day, of you don't know what's going to happen and you take it on, and then at the end of the day, that 24-hour shift, you go home and you leave it there. And that to me is what a hero is, a big part of that. So thank you so much, Shawn, for what you do. But you also do other stuff.
Yes.
And I'm going to highlight you. I know, I feel like I could just go on and on with that. But you do something else I learned about that day. Do you do this on your off time often, or how did this come about? They're races, certain kind of races.
Yeah, so I do compete in the Spartan obstacle course races. So those kind of racings there. I'm not super great, so put a disclaimer out there. I'm probably never going to win a gold medal or win one of those competitions. I'm no physical specimen by any means, but it's something that it came along. So a few years ago, there's a lot of different organizations that are out there that do these kind of races, and the Warrior Dash had come down to Logan, was one of the first ones, and trying to figure out what it was, and people were like, it's like a playground for kids. Like, go out, have a run, have a good time. And I was like, all right. So we did a couple Warrior Dashes, and those were fun. And then we started looking at some other ones that were out there, and we heard that 2 of the ones that were kind of local were, they had a Tough Mudder coming up as well, which is another version, and then the Spartan Race ones. So actually, like 6 years ago, in 1 month, we did a Spartan Race, a Warrior Dash, and a Tough Mudder. It was myself and Brian McQuarrie. We did 3 races in 4 weeks. But the biggest thing with that was that, like, man, everybody wants everybody to succeed there. They have competitor classes. Typically, we don't run in those. We run in like the open classes. But everybody wants everybody to succeed. So
Is succeed just finishing?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by
Yep.
succeeding?
exactly, just to finish the race. And so it was really during that time for me too. It really renewed my faith in humanity, because you saw so many people that were out there that were doing it. I mean, we came across people that, I was pretty certain that they had polio based on their structure with their legs. We had another guy who didn't have a leg. You saw people that had amputations that had been replaced along the way. And just people being there to lend an extra hand and support one another. And so, while it was fun, that was really spiritually uplifting to be part of that. And then we just kind of kept on keeping on with it. So, and
you're going to do some more.
We are, yeah. So alongside of me for a long time has been Brian McQuarrie, and he's a great guy. And so we've always kind of done those together. It's kind of been our thing. And so in the Spartan world, their big thing is what's called a trifecta. And a trifecta is you do 3 in a year, and they kind of have sizes like small, medium, and large. The small one's about 3 to 5 miles, and then the medium one's like 5 to 8, and then the large one is 13 miles and about 30 obstacles.
That's what I was just going to say. How many obstacles are in each of these?
So it goes like about 20, 25, and then you're looking at 30. Small, medium, and large. And the cool thing I think for the Spartan Race one was like, there was some obstacles that you can't do, and it's like, well, what if you can't do it? Well, there you get yourself a little reward. You get a punishment. So if you fall off the monkey bars, you're lucky enough to get to do 30 burpees. So you do 30 burpees, and then you carry on. So you pay the price, because I mean there are plenty of obstacles that Brian and I fell along the way. A couple years ago, we ran with Corey Richards, another guy from the department, great guy, and he is a physical specimen, and he is highly impressive. We were in West Virginia, and he failed like 2 out of 30. Meanwhile, me and Brian failed like 15. We're doing like 300 burpees during that time. So it made a long day for us. But so I'm actually going to turn 40, so it's kind of a selfish thing. I want to make kind of this our final year, our final run, and we're going to go to.
You won't do it after that?
We'll see what happens. It's been a little rough on the body. I've had 4 knee surgeries, and
my goodness.
Yeah. So it's always it's been a goal for like our job. Like if we need to be healthy in our job. Is kind of what it comes back to. We need to be in shape. We need to be healthy, and it's hard to stay motivated. To be motivated, you need to be disciplined. And for me, it's like if I know we got one of these races coming up and it's going to beat us up real bad, I'm going to work a little bit getting up to there. And it equally then helps me day to day in our job. So absolutely, I'll go to Texas to race a couple times in May, and then we'll be in Ohio in June, and then we'll travel down to West Virginia, kind of for what I'm foreseeing to be the final farewell in August. So
wow. Well, good luck to you guys.
Yes, thank you.
We only have 1 minute. Do you have a favorite Christmas memory? And then I have gifts to tell you. Actually, just one gift. Do you have a favorite Christmas memory or
not
holiday
off the
memory?
Top of my head, no.
No. Okay. I know. I meant to ask you before, but it was just like bam, 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 bam. Well, this year will be your best Christmas ever. I don't know why. I just feel like it's going to be you and your family.
I'm at work. I'm on duty.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's going to be quiet.
In-house too that day.
So, because I wanted to include ibuprofen, because I figured that after one of your races, it might be something that you might need. I don't even know if you take this stuff, but I just thought it would be a funny gag gift.
All right.
And if not,
I probably will.
then you can just heal on your own, and some other fun little things in here as well. Right. Gift card from Ireland Spa and Salon. Oh, wow. You can, for your wife, your better half, is that what you would call her? I don't know. If you want, or you can go get your nails done. I don't care. And then Ava Jewelers, and then something also at Walker Shoe Center. So,
oh my goodness. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for what you do, and keep doing what you're doing. Shawn, Lieutenant Klaaymeyer, Lancaster Fire Department, great folks over there, and we wouldn't be here without them. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I'll be back. It's downhill with Tina.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area where the fountain is and the memorials and the flags and all this stuff. And we looked around and I said, there's our bank right there.
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want to bank at a local home bank. And the employees are happy here, they're conversant, customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina, and I have Coach Rob Carpenter with me, and I am so excited because he is hero number 3 for the show. I told you all I have a special Christmas show, and he is a coach, and he has been a coach for many, many, many years. And I call coaches heroes, Coach Carpenter. That is because you are standing there as a leader for so many of our youth. And we're going to begin with, how many years have you been coaching football altogether? Not just Lancaster High, but altogether, up until just this year.
Yeah, well, this was the completion of my 30th year, actually, which was when I was a little boy. I was very small and I wasn't very good at anything, and I did a lot of praying, and I always prayed, and I wanted to be a Cleveland Brown. I wanted to play for 10 years in the NFL. And I always, in my prayers, I'd always promise, I'll pay it back threefold. So there's my 30 years of coaching for my 10-year NFL career.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome. I didn't realize that about you. I mean, I know that we do have that in common. We have gone to the same church, and that's how I've watched your boys grow up and get big and be involved also with sports. What has it been like for you right from the start? So you played in high school?
Yeah, I played at Lancaster High School. My wife Susan and I were both born in Lancaster, born and bred, and had a great Coach Earl Jones ran the program back then. My senior year was taken over by John Watson. Both are deceased now, but that entire coaching staff, with the exception of one, Dennis Neff, who still lives locally. But they were such great men, taught structure, fundamentals, and discipline. And those are things that were key to me back then, and I just said, this is good for me. And I took full advantage of the program that they offered, and it led me to being a pretty good football player. I wasn't very good at the start, but my senior year was really good. I had 100 scholarship opportunities to go to colleges, different colleges, and chose Miami University, and just got lucky there with another great group of guys, and it was the cradle of coaches. That's why I went there, because I always wanted to be a high school coach, but then, hey, I got lucky and had a 10-year NFL career. So
you say lucky, and I think that has a lot to do with prayer. I do. I think that people are brought into your life for a reason, and those folks were brought into your life because that was exactly what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, well, coaches were great fundamental leaders and disciplined, and Coach Jones was a Christian gentleman. All the coaches were, basically, and I tried to do that. Today sometimes you get too much criticized for being that, but I led the Lord's Prayer for 30 years on my teams at the beginning of the game and at halftime, because we're starting over, guys. We're going on the battlefield. We're going to ask for help again here.
I love that.
Yeah, we always did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That was something me as a cheerleader at the small town school that I went to and grew up in, and things. We did the Lord's Prayer at the beginning of every football game, or at the end of every football game, actually, is what we did. It's a group, all of us, and that's just something I'll never forget. And I think that's just so very important. So, retiring, are you going to retire as a teacher as well?
Yeah, at the conclusion of this school year, fulfill my duties, and it'll be my 33rd year of teaching actually. But yeah, I'm going to be done with that and be able to spend more time. We have 8 grandchildren now, and they're all in the formative years of their lives, and you know, I don't want to miss any of that. And going to their games is one thing, but I like to see them practice and in daily activities, and so it gives me more time to do that. And then we have a 30-acre property on the edge of town, and going to just fix that up some more. I've done a little at a time, but when you're coaching and teaching, no time. And then my wife's a swim coach, so no time in the summer. Our vacations are always centered around our kids' athletic events, basically through our life. So now it's maybe going to change a little bit.
Yeah, I think that it's awesome that you have had such a long career in doing that. Do you have a highlight of any time throughout your football career? Maybe in high school, and it could be during the NFL, it could be during your coaching.
Yeah, no, you know, and I've had that question asking me several times, what's your highlight? You know, I'm like, dude, every day was a highlight to me. I mean, I worked hard to put myself in the opportunity to succeed.
Yes.
And had a lot of people around me that helped me. But, you know, I mean, like you said, luck, things just, you know, that work out. But I pinched myself every day. Is this really happening? Is this really going to happen? Did I have that game that I just had? And, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, every day of my career from high school and all the way through 10 years of NFL and then all the coaching. Yeah, I really miss the kids, the involvement, the interaction daily with kids, because it kind of keeps you on a level tone, you know. I mean, I don't want to be the guy that's detached from the thinking of the youth today. But when you're coaching, it's no chance of that. So, but I'll continue to go to games and Lancaster games and support. And Susie, my wife's still going to continue being a swim coach. And although they didn't really have a lot of meets last summer, and some of my best football players actually came from her teaching. She's been an elementary PE teacher now in Lancaster for almost 20 years. And actually, my best football players through the years had her as a fundamental, skills-oriented teacher. And so, you know, she's helped me a lot. And it's been a kind of a team effort all through the career, basically.
I always said, you know, I love Susie because she could have taught me. I wish I would have known her when I had my son, because I'm the oldest of 5 girls, and I just didn't know a daggone thing about boys. And I have a feeling that if Susie and I were friends like a lot sooner, I could have learned a lot more from her when it came to boys.
Yeah, well, like I said, she was before Title IX athletically, but I think she had more letters in high school than I did. And of course, she had 6 older brothers. And,
that's right.
And I knew she wanted a girl. We wanted a girl, but we had 4 boys. And I'm like, I think our life is going towards your family, not towards mine. It was girl, boy, girl. You know. And but we do have 4 granddaughters and 4 grandsons, so we're balanced out there.
Oh, good. And I bet you're just enjoying every bit of it, and you'll get to enjoy more of it in your retirement.
Well, hopefully, hopefully we will. And every day is an exciting day for us. I mean, no such thing as boring in the Carpenter household.
No, I love it. And it sounds like to me, if you've ever fallen down or there's a bump in the road, you figure it out and you just keep on going, because you're just blessed to be here for today.
Yeah, life, you overcome obstacles. I mean, if there's no obstacles, if there's no challenges, life would be boring.
Absolutely.
I mean, good and bad. You got to overcome the good and the bad. And sometimes there's some ugly in there, but you know, you just keep going strong.
Yep, that's right. Rob, I want to thank you so much. Coach Carpenter with me. He is retired from the Lancaster football, and he's going to retire from Lancaster High School and teaching coming up in the summer. And what a year I know it's been. Thank you so much for being with me, and best wishes to you and Susie and all the time spending with your grandkids. And folks, I want to thank you so much for watching the show today, and I wish you a Merry Christmas. Do you want to give a shout out to anybody for...
Merry Christmas to everybody who's going through 2020. Just stay strong, stay together, and hope for the best.
What he said. God bless, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. It's Down Home with Tina.